Hi everyone, this is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I am here live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. So go ahead and put your questions in the comments right now because I am here to answer your questions as they come in. So don't hesitate to start putting those questions in the comments so that I may answer them. So let me formally introduce myself. I'm U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I help clients to get their green card and status in the United States. So if you have a U.S. immigration related question, now is the time to put those questions in the comments. I know if you're going through the process, you're thinking about going through the process, even if you've been through the process, you have a question that you want to ask. I usually come with a topic that I want to talk about just to share with you. And first of all, I'm going to touch on the latest news. And it's not the greatest news right now, but a U.S. immigration a district court judge, federal court judge in Texas, has issued an order to the USCIS to stop them from processing any new applications and issuing new decisions to new applicants. So that is definitely a setback. It's definitely a frustrating setback just because here we are again, where these individuals deserve status, they deserve a path to citizenship, and they're being put through this roller coaster where this is their lives. This is impacting their lives. This is impacting their ability to work, their ability to come out of the shadows and to be truly a part of the American society in a meaningful way to them. Because while they contribute to the United States, they're not getting anything from us. And so this is frustrating, and this is another reason why there is a plea to Congress to intervene and pass laws that will create a permanent solution, a permanent path to citizenship. So now that could always change. This hold on new DACA application approvals can be something that the changes just because it's at the district court level, and so they could appeal it, and a higher court may say otherwise and lift this hold and allow the USCIS to continue processing DACA applications. However, at this time, this is what we have. I'll keep you updated, and let's hope for the best and hope that something changes, something more permanent, but at least something that will move everyone forward. Now, keep putting your questions in the comments, by the way, because that's why I'm here. I'm going to prioritize your questions as they come in, but I'm going to talk about how to apply for the green card in general. So all the different ways that you could not apply for the green card in general. So I'm going to give you an overview. If I went too into detail, we could be here for hours. But I'm going to give you a general overview, and if there is something that is at all familiar to you, then I urge you to get legal advice. You can do that by calling and scheduling a consultation, because I am a U.S. immigration attorney and I help clients to get their status and green card in the United States. So it would be something I'd be able to advise you on. But ways that you can get the green card in the United States. Or even if you're outside of the United States. So the first is employment-based green cards. Is there an employer that's willing to invest in you and apply for your permanent residence? There are a number of different types of employment-based green cards, and so it really depends on your qualifications, the needs of the employer, what are the needs of even the country. Now, there's also family-based. So if you qualify through family, you would be able to apply for the green card, whether you're outside of the United States or in the United States. Same with employment. You could be outside of the United States or in order to apply for this. You just have to make sure you meet the requirements. So through family, there are different categories that you could apply for. So Erica Garcia, how long does it take to get my husband the green card? So if you're a U.S. citizen, Right now, I would say prepare for an 18-month on average process. It could be shorter, could be even longer, could be up to 2 years. Some service centers are taking that long, if not more, to process green cards, even for spouses of U.S. citizens. If you're a green card holder, I would say 18 months to 24 months you should be waiting. So keep those questions coming, because that's why I'm here, and these are the exact type of questions that I answer for you. So go ahead, put your questions in the comments now while I'm here so that I may answer. Now, I'm just giving you general information about how to apply for the green card. Now, I could delve deeper, because as my videos say, I also talk about how to fix your status if you're in the United States and you overstay, or how to adjust status in the United States. But today I'm going to keep it very general unless those specific questions come in. What would you advise for someone that came in illegal and want their child to file for them? So, Myrtle Smith, if you have a U.S. citizen child who's 21 and up, they would be able to file for you. Also, if that child who's 21 and up is unwilling to file for you and they've mistreated you, they've put you through the ringer, there is a way for you to file on your own, on VAWA. So if they emotionally mistreated you, if they physically abused you or harmed you, if they verbally abused you, if they even financially abused you, this would be also a way for you to stay in the United States and adjust status, even if you came into the country without your papers. Now, if your child is willing to file for you and they're 21 and up, then you would likely have to go through the waiver process to fix your status. So what that means is they'll file the petition for you. And since you didn't come into the country with a visa, you would have to, when that petition is approved, you would then have to apply for this waiver. It's basically forgiveness for the overstay and would allow you to leave the country to attend your final interview without facing that 3-year or 10-year bar. So you can wait in the United States for the waiver to be approved and then wait until your interview while you're in the US. And then when your interview is scheduled, you go with your approved waiver, and the officer, as long as you have that approved waiver and you qualify in every other way, will go ahead and approve your immigrant visa. And about 2 to 3 weeks after the interview, you would be able to come back to the US and become a permanent resident. So in order to determine what you qualify for, it's best to do a legal consultation, Myrtle Smith, to see what your options are and what the best option is. I'm a USA citizen, and I received a letter from migration that they received my husband's application. So that's great. So that means that they've accepted your application, and they told it would take 12 to 18 months. So exactly. So it is taking about 12 to 18 months. So 18 months on average right now, I would say, for the entire process to go through. Could be shorter, could be longer. One thing I like to say is make sure that your application is complete and well prepared, because a well prepared application leads to a smoother and, believe it or not, maybe even a shorter process. Hi there, Emily. It's nice to see you as always. I wanted to apply for US visa. How to start? So you would apply at the embassy if this is a visitor's visa. And you have to make sure you bring evidence of your strong ties to your home country. So what's your job? Show your job. Show your family ties. Show that you run a business or the property you own. If you're in school, show that you're in the middle of a program and you're invested in. Also wanted to start a business in Trinidad for US. So if you're referring to the E2, you have to be the citizen of an E2 country, which it seems like here if you are the citizen of Trinidad, you would qualify. However, you must show that you have been investing or you have invested a substantial amount of money into that business. Doesn't have to be millions of dollars, but it has to be a substantial investment for the type of business you're running. and the business you're running in the US, or you're going to run in the US. And then you also have to show that it is required for you to be in the United States to run this business, and you'll be doing that. That's your intention, your sole intention of coming to the US. So how long does it take to my husband to get his interview? So Erica Garcia, I would say it's on average 18 months. It could be less, could be more. I have seen 9 months, and at the point where you do go to the interview at 9 months, make sure you go into that interview prepared, because if not, and the officer has to review your case, it could go on forever. Very important that you are prepared for that interview if it does come earlier. However, on average right now, it's taking about 12 months to 18 months to get that interview, and I've seen as long as 24 months. So if I don't have any family overseas, so if you don't have any family, then you probably wouldn't qualify through family. But are there any other ways that you could qualify? For example, there is a lottery for the green card, so that may be one way. My boyfriend and I want to get married. He works on H-2B visa. I'm a citizen, and we have a 4-year-old. Then I'm a nurse also. Would they consider my income only, or does his count since he works here? So keep in mind that the H-2B is a 6-month, it's usually a seasonal visa. So at some point during the process, he's going to fall out of status, because when you're doing adjustment of status, he'll have to stay. Jamaican Gal Amoy, very important that you get legal advice, because all the information here I'm giving you is general information and it's not personal legal advice. So you want to make sure that you have an attorney such as myself get through the details and completely advise you in detail. However, generally speaking, one who overstays on an H-2B and is married to a U.S. citizen can adjust status in the United States even after overstaying. An H-2B is not likely to continue for the entire time, because it usually lasts about 6 months at most. And so once he is out of status and the process is going, work permits do come 6 to 8 months later. And at the point that he is working, still working, it is possible that he could use his income as well. But it is best that you prove because you're going to be the one signing the contract. So while he could show his income, if he's working legally in the United States, you would definitely have to make sure that, because you're the one that's signing this affidavit, you have to make sure you can meet the income requirements. And if you find the I-864P form on uscis.gov, you'll get an idea of the amount of income that you need to be making. And based on the information you gave me, it looks like a household of 3. So what I have to get to apply for a visa? So you usually have to apply at the embassy. So usually there's a form that's available on the Department of State's website. You'd apply, pay the fee, and then when you go to the interview, that's where you're going to take your information. I don't know what your circumstances are, so I wouldn't be able to tell you what specific. But generally speaking, you'd want to take your job letter, you want to take evidence you work, you want to show that you're in school or that you own a business, show your assets and so forth. We're looking to get married so he can stay here permanently. He never overstays. He always goes back home. So Jamaican Gal Amoy, if he does go back home, he will have to finish the process in his home country through consular processing. And keep in mind that applying for him could also impact his H-2B visa, because the H-2B visa is only on a temporary basis. And so once they see paperwork go in, they're going to then determine that he has a permanent immigrant intent, and then that could affect the visa. So very important, Jamaican Gal Amoy, you get legal advice before you start. Make sure you understand, make sure you explore your options, whether he should stay, whether he needs to go back to Jamaica. So very important that you get legal advice so that you don't make any mistakes, because once he goes back home, he's going to have to finish the process there. Hi, with the pandemic, what is now the average processing time from document submission to migration? Patty, Cake 03, depends on what process you're going through. So can you clarify that, please? And then I can tell you, if I know, I can tell you what the processing times are. So keep your questions coming. These are all great questions, and you're welcome, Jamaican Galamoy. I'm here to give you this general information. So just make sure that you act on it, you get the legal advice you need to move forward in your case. Now, this is what the consultations that I offer are for. It's for us to assist you to determine how to approach your case, whether you qualify, to avoid mistakes. It is a consultation filled with value and very important that you get, if not even from me, from an immigration attorney, to avoid mistakes in the process. So keep your questions coming, because that's why I'm here on a Saturday night. I'm citizen parent filing for adult child. So if you're over 21 and over, Patty Cake, and unmarried, that's 6 to 7 years. And if you're married, it's 12 years right now. How can I start working with you? Where are you located? So great question, Jamaican Gal Amoy. I am in Boca Raton, Florida. However, no matter where you are in the United States or the world, I can represent you and I can help you through your process. Now, I offer phone and video consultations to start. If you are not located close by, and you can go to the link in my bio. It's going to take you to the website with all the information you need. You can also call 561-405-4889. My phone lines are open 24/7 to take your calls. Okay, so you live in Naples, Florida. So that's great. You're in Florida. And no matter where you are, Jamaican Gal, I can help you. So it doesn't even matter if we can't see each other in person. I do offer video and phone consultations as well. So because I represent clients all over the country and the world. I have clients in Jamaica, Haiti, Africa, Venezuela. I have all over the United States. So it doesn't matter. So you can give me a call and let me properly advise you. U.S. lottery still exists. How can we apply? So every year the U.S. Department of State opens up the site where you can register. I believe it's every October. So go to the U.S. Department of State and just put in the search bar lottery. So Greencard, diversity lottery. And they will provide you some, information that will help you, guide you. And then you can mark it and go back and register if that's what you choose to do. So great questions so far. Put those questions in the comments. That's exactly why I'm here, everyone, is to answer your questions. Nibino. That's amazing. The video consultation. Yes, exactly. So, I do video consultations, and I'm glad that you're impressed with that, because it is very convenient. Even clients that are in Florida do this because they don't feel like driving to the office. They just want to see me through video and get the advice that they need. It's very convenient. It saves a lot of time. Text IFX, thanks for the follow. What's the differences between the different types of K visas? I was told to file a K1. So the K1 is a fiance visa. There's also the K3 visa, and that is for spouses of U.S. citizens. Now, it used to be, and it may be a little shorter, but I have had cases where the spousal immigrant visa still went faster than the K3. So what it is, it was meant to help spouses to come, give them a special visa to come to the United States faster, rather than waiting for the final interview at the embassy. They would come here and finish out the green card process. However, it is taking as long as a spouse immigrant visa. So the K1 though is a fiance visa. keep those questions coming, because I am here to answer your questions. And as these are all great questions so far. Now, I'm here every day. I'm here every day with very few exceptions to answer questions like these. And so in the least, you can follow me. And as soon as you get notice that I'm live, you can go ahead and put your questions in the comments, and I will start answering your questions right away. So very important for you to know that. And if you're getting to know me, then and you just want to learn about a topic, as at times when the chat isn't very busy, I talk in detail about different ways to fix your status or get the green card in the United States. So that is also a reason that you should follow me. And also, if you want personal legal advice, so you already know you need this advice, you can give me a call. Go to the link in my bio, and then when you go to that link in the bio, you'll see the website. Click on the website button. It's going to take you to the website where you can learn more about me as the attorney, learn more about the law firm. There's a convenient contact form for you to complete online, as well as the phone number. So if you miss the phone number, then you can also do that. Mom filed in October 2005 and have not heard from them. Should I reach out to them? So definitely what you need to do is if you go to the National Visa Bulletin, you can look at what year they're processing. And if you're outside of the processing time, you can check to see, your mom can check to see the status. So usually the status is online. Because the first thing she did is filed what's called an I-130 form. And then when it was approved, it was sent to the National Visa Center. If it's at the National Visa Center, definitely submit an inquiry. Make sure that they're not waiting on anything on your end, and that you're in touch with them. So I would recommend you reach out and find out where your application is at the least. So great questions so far. Put those questions in the comments while I'm here. I've been talking about how answering your questions, but also talking about how to apply for the green card. So I did go do a general overview about how to apply for the green card, and those ways were through, it is at the National Visa Center. So go ahead, if you go to their site, go to the National Visa Center site, and there are ways to submit an inquiry just to make sure that, and also you should have received a login information, based on your a case number, and so you may want to see if you can log in there to see if there's anything that they're asking you for. Now, usually if the case is at the National Visa Center and they're in touch with you and they ask you for something and you don't respond within 1 year, they can close the case. So very important that you stay on top of your case. Make sure that there's nothing that they want from you. Once a friend of mine entered my information for me for the U.S. lottery behind my back while visiting. Okay, that friend seemed a little overzealous. So keep your questions coming, because I'm here to answer your questions. Jardine, so that got disconnected. I didn't see the rest of it. But if you want to go ahead and continue typing, I'd gladly answer your question if you have a question. Can you change the B1, B2 visa to EB1 green card, and what's the procedure? So now usually changing from B1 to EB1 green card is not going to, you're going to fall out of status. And so it's unlikely that you would be able to change. It just depends on how long the processing time is, whether you have a way. So usually where it works is if you are already on an employment-based green card. So if you're on an H-1B, for example, or an O-1, and now you're going over to the green card, maybe it would work in that case where you can maintain status and adjust status over to the EB1. But from a visitor's visa to the EB1, that's probably going to be a stretch. Will that affect my visa? I got emails but didn't reply. So Jardine, I'm sorry about that. So in a case like this, I wouldn't be able to advise you specifically because I don't know what the circumstances were. I don't know how far you got into the case, what kind of emails you got. But usually if nothing came of the case and there was no fraud, there was nothing misleading, or there were no immigration consequences as a result of it, it should not be a problem. However, I wouldn't be able to confirm that unless I knew all your details. Keep those questions coming while I'm here. I'm a U.S. immigration attorney and I help clients to get their green cards and status in the United States. And so if this is an issue that you need help with, go ahead, call, schedule a consultation. My phone lines are open 24/7 to be able to take your name, information, and then a scheduling coordinator can get back to you tomorrow, which will be between noon and 5, or Monday to Friday between 9:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. So is it true that the U.S. Embassy only issue a certain amount of visas per day? So that may be related to the individual embassy's procedures. And so they may have a certain technically if they work from 8 to 5 and they have certain amount of slots, then you know that the maximum amount of visas that they could give would be those slots between 8 and 5. So I guess technically that would be true. There is a maximum amount of visas that they could possibly give in a day. So keep those questions coming while I'm here. I'm here to answer your questions. I'm here every day. So this is not the last time that you'll be getting an opportunity to ask questions. So follow me, and as soon as you see me go live again, you can ask your question. Hi, I got denied my marriage petition. I don't know what's next for me. Diomed, this is where it's very important to get legal advice and guidance, as it all depends on why you got denied, what was the basis, and whether that can be corrected. Sometimes a green card application being denied, a marriage base, maybe you didn't present enough evidence. In a case like that, sometimes it makes sense to reapply. In other cases, it may be more serious. It may be because of something in your background. So call and schedule a consultation and let's see if there's a way to fix the situation. Oh, thank you for that compliment, Poorman NYC. I appreciate that. So Jardine Williams, you're welcome. I'm glad that I could give you good information. A lot of people go to the U.S. Embassy but don't get their visas. Unfortunately, that's the case in many countries. I know Jamaica, it's the same thing. Unfortunately, not everyone gets visas and they're highly selective, and it really depends on what you go into the interview with. The officer has to be convinced that if you visit the United States, you will return to your country. And so they want to see evidence of that. So thanks everyone for your questions. I am going to be heading out for the night, but I'll be back tomorrow. So as soon as you see me go live, as long as you're following me, you can hop on with me and ask any immigration related question. Keep in mind that sometimes I do bring topics, and if I get a chance in between questions, I talk about those topics. Those topics could be anywhere from how to fix your status, how to get the green card, how to go from a 2-year green card to a 10-year green card. So ex-wife got a green card through my friend. Can he apply for someone else again? So great question. While he could, it may face the second time around, he may face further scrutiny. And so it's very important he gets legal advice, because usually when they face scrutiny, he'll not only have to show that his current marriage is real, but that his past marriage was real. My parents went for their visa and was turned down without the officer viewing their documents. And now it's 87. That's sometimes what happens. The officer will look at your background on your visa application and still determine based on what you have on the application that you don't have enough ties. So it's one of those visas, the visitors visas, where the officers have a lot of discretion, and it's very difficult to challenge that, unfortunately. Another thing, now he became gay, he wants to apply for his new boyfriend. So in a case like that, he'll definitely need to consult an attorney, because the officers looking at the change in circumstances, the change in his orientation can definitely raise questions. And so you want to prepare a good application from the get-go, and it's very important that that you get legal advice along the way. So thanks so much for your questions, everyone. I will be back tomorrow, so go ahead, follow me, and as soon as I go live, you can put your questions. So my husband recently did his biometrics. How long for the interview? So on a whole, because the biometrics is being scheduled, it's being scheduled months now. I mean, it's kind of erratic now with different people getting biometrics at different times. The average time is 4 months. However, on average, you could be looking at an interview anywhere from 9 months to 18 months. All right, have a good night, everyone, and thanks, poor man, for the compliment. I appreciate it, and I hope I see you tomorrow. Have a great weekend. If I don't, bye.